Storms in life are never permanent. And in the same way, neither are your struggles. We all struggle in life, in some way, small or big, but you're always struggling. But why do you struggle? The simple answer is, you struggle because your life isn't working out the way you want. If it was working out just the way you wanted, would you still be struggling? Would you still be complaining about it? Would you still be anxious? No, because everything is working out perfectly. It's only because it isn't that you think, I'm struggling. But you have to understand one thing. Your life will never happen 100% your way, no matter how hard you try. The reason for this is something called the law of polarity. Everything has its opposites. You have an up, a down, a left, right, hot, cold, light, dark, struggle, freedom. Why? Because you can't have one without the other. You have to experience both to tell the difference. If you've never experienced something cold, how would you know what hot feels like? If you have never experienced the darkness, how would you know what light feels like? And in the same way, if you don't experience struggle, how would you know what freedom from that struggle feels like? So you have to have both parts of life to experience so that you know that, okay, I want to move towards the things that give me pleasure and away from the things that are causing me pain. This is why you have preferences, and this is why you have positive and negative. You have to have both. So saying, oh, I don't like this, and why am I struggling? Why do I have these issues? You need to have them. So you know that I don't like this, I can go and do something different. Now, why do you struggle? Something has to cause your struggle. It doesn't just happen. You don't just suddenly wake up one morning thinking, oh, I'm struggling financially, I'm struggling with my relationships, I'm struggling with my business. No, something causes it. But what is this thing that causes it? This comes from the law of cause and effect. Let's say you're driving down the road and you feel something in your car and you think, something strange. So you stop on the side, you get out, you look at the tire and it's gone down. What do? You pump it up with air. That's it. And then you just carry on. A few days later, you feel it again, you stop on the side, you get out, it's gone down again. You pump it up with air. What are you doing? You're just giving the tire a temporary fix. It's going to keep happening over and over again. But if you found the cause of that tire going down and you fixed the cause, will the tire go down again? No. But we don't do things like that. And it's the same with body aches and pains. If you get an ache or pain, what do you tend to do? You take a painkiller. Does that fix the problem? No. It just blocks the signal. The pain is still there. But if you found the cause of the pain and you got rid of that, will you ever experience that pain again? No. I work like this with so many people who have all kinds of pains, back pains, arthritis, whole load of things. And I get rid of the cause. When the cause goes, the pain goes. It doesn't matter because your mind and body are connected. So you can influence your body to heal itself. But that's a completely different subject, so I'm not going to cover that. But once you know what the cause of something is, then you can fix it. So, what is causing your struggle? From my years of experience, I found that virtually everybody has the same cause. Now, some of you will agree, some of you will disagree. But I think once I've explained it, you'll think, yes, this is it. The reason for your struggle, the cause of your struggle, is your thoughts. Nothing else. Now you're thinking, well, what's my thinking got to do with my struggle? Let me explain the process of how your thinking creates your life experience. You have your thoughts. Your thoughts will determine your behavior. Your behavior determines your actions. Your actions determine your results, which in turn determine your life experience. So whatever you're experiencing right now has come from a thought, nothing else. And every thought you have determines the life you live. You cannot change this life experience unless you change your thought. This is why in so many of these self-help books, they talk about mindset. Unless you change your thinking, your life cannot change. Often what happens is, some of these gurus will tell you, you need to take massive action and you'll change your life. No, that is complete false. Because you're trying to change something in the middle. You're not changing the cause of your struggle. If you know the cause, you can fix it. And until you change your thinking, your struggle will remain. The life you're experiencing right now will remain. It does not change. But constantly, we try to change our life by changing what we're doing, the action part. So if we're not getting sales, we'll try and invest more in marketing or this or that. That's wrong. That will never give you the result. You'll get a little bit, but not much, until you change your thinking. When you change your thinking, that will change your behavior, which will change the actions and make you do the right actions to give you the results and then the life you want. No other way. I know this from 32 years of experience. And there is no other way you're going to change your life until you change your mindset. The problem is, we're taught to think and do the wrong way around. We're taught that 95% is the hard work, 5% is your thinking. Wrong. 95% is your thinking, your mindset, your mentality. You get that right, the actions will follow automatically and you'll get the result you want. But why does this happen? Because, let me give you this statement. It's by someone called Earl Nightingale. You become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. So if you're holding a thought in your mind over and over and over again, and it's the thought of what you're struggling with, you're thinking about it most of the time. What result is going to happen? You're going to get exactly the same. Your life does not change because you're thinking about it over and over. So if you have one negative thought, it's not, oh my goodness, that's going to happen. No, it's something you think about over and over. And if you look at some of the struggles you're having, or one of your major struggles, and consider what kind of thoughts you have right now, you'll find that they're exactly the same as your struggle. That's why it's still there, and it doesn't change. So in order to change that, you need to change one thing: attention. And this I call attention deficit, because we've basically lost the ability to hold our attention on anything. And it's been going down for decades. And if you don't believe me, when you go onto your favorite social media site, what do? You just swipe, you swipe, you swipe. When do you stop swiping? When something grabs your attention. Until then, you're just swiping away. You can't hold your attention for that amount of time. Some of you have already started thinking about random things while I'm talking because your attention has gone. But this is the problem. Because you can't hold your attention, you can't hold your attention on a thought pattern. And if you become what you think about most, if you're thinking random thoughts about this, and you're thinking random things, and your thoughts are random and chaotic, does this not explain why your life might be random and chaotic as well? This is because your thinking is random and chaotic. You have to focus on what it is you want to happen in your life. It doesn't happen any other way. It doesn't happen because of the actions you put in, because the actions are determined by your thoughts. Until you change that, your actions will remain the same. You think you're doing random things. So I've worked with people who've been doing the same thing for years, and they say, I worked so hard, and nothing changes until they change the thinking. When the thinking changes, it automatically changes. And sometimes these changes happen so quick. We're talking within months of people who've been working for years to try and make a change. And these changes and what you're struggling with can be anything. So it could be your business, it could be your finances, relationships, health, anything that you're struggling with, you can change. How? Because you simply change your thinking. When the thinking changes, so will your life. So, how can you make these changes? 3 things I'm going to cover, because I can't go through all of it, haven't got the time. 3 things I'm going to cover. Number 1, your self-talk. What do I mean by self-talk? What you say when you talk to yourself, in your mind, because you're constantly talking to yourself. That's the voice you can hear. Sometimes you'll talk to yourself out loud, and sometimes you'll be just talking to yourself in your mind. But that's natural. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not going crazy. It's fine. It's natural. But what you have to be careful of is what you say when you talk to yourself. Your words have power. It's like casting a spell on yourself every time you talk to yourself. So if you're telling yourself, oh, that was stupid of me, how clumsy am I? And you keep thinking about that, and you become what you think about, what's going to happen in your life? You're going to end up stupid and clumsy. This is why you have to be very careful about what you say to your children. Because if they're doing something and you're trying to make them do it a certain way and they don't, and you say, come on, it's so easy. You're so thick, how can you not understand? And they keep thinking about that. My parents said, I'm thick, I don't understand, I'm stupid. They too become what they think about most. And they will eventually become thick and not understand. So be careful what you say to yourself and also what you tell your children. Because this whole process happens to anybody the same way. If you're human, this affects you. And when you're talking to yourself, you're thinking. And your thinking determines everything. So that's 1. Number 2, when something happens in your life, you normally come up with some kind of story that you keep telling yourself. Oh, this happened, and now it's like this, and now it's like this, and I'm experiencing this because of this. And you keep thinking about it over and over and over again. That too is a thought pattern. And that too will affect your life experience because you keep thinking about it over and over. And as you become what you think about, you will experience it. This is why your life doesn't change. When you're experiencing something, a problem, and you keep discussing it with your partner or your business partner or anyone, you keep thinking about it. This is why it doesn't change. You cannot discuss the problem and expect to get a solution. It doesn't work like that. You have to be focused on what you want. Forget what's happening now. It's the hardest thing to do, to forget what you're seeing around you. But until you do, your thinking won't change. And you'll keep telling yourself the same stories. You'll keep talking to yourself the same way. And you'll keep getting the same results. And number 3, when you're thinking, your mind works in pictures, images, not words. So if I say to you, giraffe, you don't see the word giraffe in your mind. You will see a vague image of a giraffe. Why? Because that's how your mind interprets your life. So if you're thinking to yourself about a situation that was negative, and you keep thinking about it over and over, you're basically creating a little movie of it in your mind. And because you're creating that, your mind picks that up and says, this is what they want. And so they will change your behavior to change the actions to get the results and to give you that life experience, whether you wanted it or not. Your mind does not have preferences. It simply follows your commands. If you tell it, this is what I want, because you keep thinking about it, it will give it you. And then you think, why does this keep happening to me? And then your mind will show you why it keeps happening to you. But until you change what you put in your head, your life experience will not change either. And this is because you're not changing the cause of the problem. You're just changing the action part of the problem. And until you change the cause, you can't change the effect. So those three things you have to be very careful of. Because think about this. When you go to the cinema, after the ads, what comes on? Trailers. Yeah? You watch trailers of what? Films that are coming soon to the cinema. In the same way, when you start making movies in your mind of the life you're experiencing now that you don't like, and you keep playing them over and over in your mind, you're creating trailers of a life experience that's coming soon to your life, whether you want that or not. So until you change what you're thinking, until you change what you say to yourself, until you change the stories you keep repeating in your mind and the movies you make, neither will your life. It will stay the same. Think about this. If you think about the struggle you're having right now, any one of the struggles you may have, even the most intense one, and you think about it, notice the kinds of thoughts that come up. I can virtually guarantee 100% they are negative. And the stories you're making, the movies you're making, they'll all be negative. And you'll notice you'll be doing this most of the time. That's why your life is like that. That's why it hasn't changed. And it won't change until you change what you think. I've done this now for, like I say, 32 years. I'm 51 years old now. Okay? So I've been doing this for a very long time. And I've helped literally hundreds of people because I've understood the cause of people's problems. And it's the same for anybody. Whatever your problem is, when you fix that cause, you will fix your problem automatically. You don't have to work out what to do. Your mind will tell you and guide you to the right things. So until you change your thinking, your life won't change either. And so, what I would say is, find out what it is that is your biggest cause. Don't go for multiple things, because your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. Because you can either focus on me, you can focus on your thinking, or you can focus on the noise outside. You can only focus on one thing. And if you don't believe me, try saying the alphabet while writing down your numbers, 1 to 26. See how you struggle. You cannot multitask. It doesn't matter what people tell you that, people can multitask. You cannot multitask. You can't do two things at once. So find one struggle that's most intense for you, that you want to change, and then change those three aspects: what you say to yourself, the stories you keep repeating to yourself, and the movies you play in your mind. And when you do that and you hold those more than any other thought, then your life will start to change automatically. And that's how you can stop struggling and start living. Thank you.